In breaking news, first reported on VOA, sources told VOA Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb that another U.S. airstrike targeted Islamic State fighters in Libya Thursday. U.S. Africa Command later confirmed the strike killed 17 terrorists. It is the third U.S. strike this month against the terror group in the southwestern Libyan town of Murzuq. As we reported yesterday, an airstrike earlier this week killed 11 Islamic State militants and another last week killed 8, according to U.S. Africa Command. Thursday evening, a high-level meeting on Libya was hosted by foreign ministers of Italy and France. Joining me live from the United Nations with more on Libya discussions is VOA U.N. correspondent Margaret Besheer. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, Esther.
All right, bring us up to speed on what happened last night.
So the UN has been very concerned about the downward spiral that Libya has been on since April, when General Haftar moved his forces on Tripoli, and the country has been in a real cycle of violence since then. So the Italians and the French, along with the Secretary General and other interested countries, are really trying to push the country back on track, because in April it was very close to coming to political talks to resolve the problems in the country. So they're trying to push for a nationwide ceasefire and then get an international conference together. And then the conference would put pressure and support on the Libyan parties so that they would come back to intra-Libyan talks along with the AU to try and get the country back on track, because Libya is so vital. The security and stability of Libya is so vital, not just for Libyans, but for all of North Africa, for the Sahel, and for Europe, because so many migrants are leaving the continent and trying to cross the Mediterranean. So it's an issue of real concern for the United Nations right now.
Now, Margaret, is there any positive news this week coming out of Africa from the UN?
Yeah, I would say Sudan has really become a good positive story here this week. The Prime Minister, Hamdok, is here. The Foreign Minister is with him. She's a woman. They are appearing, actually right now there's a meeting starting on the transition, about the transition in Sudan, a meeting starting here. Secretary General is going to be at it. He's expected to repeat his calls for lifting of economic sanctions on Sudan and for removing Sudan from the state sponsor of terror list. And we've seen Sudan sign an agreement with the UN Office of Human Rights this week so that they may open offices in Sudan. That's a major development for a country that was ruled by someone who's been accused of being a war criminal for the past 30 or so years. So a big leap forward. They want to build on that. They want to make sure human rights are part of this transition. And the Prime Minister actually even took part in a press freedom event this week here. And today he's going to give a press conference, which I don't recall in the many years that I've been here, a Sudanese senior official giving a press conference. So I think all really positive signs that Sudan is moving in the right direction, but the UN really wants to make sure that these gains are permanent.
Right, Margaret, thank you so much. That's VOA's Margaret Besheer reporting live from the United Nations.